Well, welcome to our podcast.
Yeah.
A day late, but hopefully a day better for the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to have you guys back. And I think
You are better?
my name is Beto. I'm here with my wife Rosie,
That's right.
and we're gonna tell some stories and relax a little bit. I'm trying to relax a little bit. It's been quite a
You are
week,
always so nervous. I think I'm
So,
getting the hang of
the gist of it.
of people seeing me on the YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm also told myself that I'm gonna look straight at the camera this time, but
I should stop looking at you.
it's gonna be a challenge either way. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, I should take this moment to thank everybody who's been watching,
Yes.
and everybody
Thank
who has subscribed. We appreciate it. We have been having a lot of fun bringing you
Right.
talks.
3 videos and a lot of analytics, which we're gonna. It's
A lot.
it's-
There's not much.
For me, it's a lot. For me, like it's 3 videos, and every day I look back and I'm like, oh, this day and that day. So it's been fun.
We love data. So
Yeah. So I like
it's been
doing that.
fascinating to see. But why don't you go ahead and introduce what we're going to do today?
Okay. Yeah. So we thought of several topics and still finding our way through it. But I think one of the things that we really wanted to talk about was our marriage and the expectations versus reality. Yeah.
This is going to be a good topic. I can
think
already
so.
feel it.
I think so. We all had kind of the ideal, and I think for the most part that's met. But there's been some differences. Some things that maybe, went a little better or sometimes didn't go as planned.
What topics do you want to, what different areas do you want us to highlight?
I think the ones that we should really talk about are how to handle finances. I think that's a big deal with any couple. And it was a big deal with
expectations.
us. Yeah, I think that was for us anyway, my expectations were definitely on the forefront. And then decision making. How do we both not work as a team, but also kind of make our own decisions, right?
What expectations did we have
Right.
on how we would be making decisions in our marriage?
Right. And then values. What type of values do we have for our marriage, and what type of goals did we have? I think I'll tell a little story about what my little expectation was, and then the reality. So
You're saying we don't have values. I'm just kidding.
no, we do have values, but I think it takes when you're in a marriage, it's a team, so you kind of have to build those things together.
What else?
The final thing I think is going to be level or effort that it takes to be in a marriage. Yeah. Yeah. And
how much effort did you expect to put in this marriage?
Or lack thereof.
Versus the reality of how much effort have you put in?
This will just come naturally. Things will just work out.
So
I think those are some really good topics. And with that, we should probably start with finances.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
What do we do with that?
What expectations? Tell us. What expectations did you have?
Well,
on finances?
I think part of the part of the way I was expecting is I was a bachelor for a long time, and I had been kind of used to managing my finances and kind of always paying the bills and just getting things organized. I kind of had a system going, all that stuff. And part of that meant that, this just needs to be done. And I didn't really ask, I didn't think, Rosie needs to chime in on this, or Rosie needs to have input on some of those decisions, right? Big or small. And even finding out what big decision to me might not be a big decision to you, and vice versa.
In terms of finances.
Right?
Yeah. Is that in terms of I want to buy a car? Should I talk with her or what do you mean?
In terms of, are we going to have a joint account, right?
Oh,
are we going to?
That was.
Are we going to, I remember even just talking about, are we going to file jointly or want to separately? Like those type of things were
that you don't talk about when you're dating.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be like, well, so let me put down. What are your expectations on a tax issue? and not that any of that was like, we overcame that. That was fine, but it was kind of an important point.
So you were expecting we're gonna have 2 separate accounts. Were you going to run your own account or what?
No, I was expecting that, okay, well, all of us will have combined accounts and then I would just run it. Easy peasy.
My expectation, right, when it came to finances.
Yeah.
Well, you have to understand, when I met you, this is not my first rodeo. I had already been.
You had been in a relationship, yeah.
And I also had a little one.
Yep.
And so I was used to, this is my emergency funds. This is the account that I do this for.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of difficult to start with, to kind of let go of, especially my emergency fund.
Yeah. Well, I can understand.
Which we found out when we were buying our first home together.
Right. Yeah.
And we had to compile on our accounts.
Yes.
And Alberto figured, wait a minute, why do you have an account in Kenya?
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
What was it? It was your emergency fund. It was your, in case of last resort.
Well, being that I'm from Kenya, I had always, and because I had visited a bunch of times. And so it all only made sense for me to have an account in Kenya. So when I and Nate visit, that we,
Well, the other thing, too, I thought was that you were thinking of purchasing property there.
Right.
So then it made sense to have some of that. Yeah, some of that outside of the country.
for some of that. So, but I think you were shocked when... Here we are compiling or reconciling our finances, and what is this account? Offshore.
which I was very grateful for in the end, because it really did help kind of be the linchpin as far as making sure we moved on with that.
Yes.
But I think a lot of the things that we kind of also talk about is, and we did a great job with what account are we using as far as everyday spending. What account are we using to save? What account, and how visible is that to both of us?
Yeah, I think the reality of where we are now versus our expectation is so much better.
Yeah, I think so.
We have been able to do so well together, being on the same page. We are big followers of Dave Ramsey. Yeah. Hope he can support this video.
Better than I deserve.
No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, putting our finances together was also something that was good, because we are able to strategize financially and make decisions better, and so the reality is a win here.
And I think the other big thing that was about finances was transparency.
Yes.
Being able to see, okay, even though I do have taken on the role of paying a lot of this stuff, like, you want to know, where are we with finances, and then also there was this one time when we actually got hacked, and just being able to say, okay, I see this,
where did it come from?
I see this, and where is happening here, and then we were both able to talk about it. Whereas I think if we had separate accounts and just kind of you handle yours and I handle mine, it was very difficult to kind of say, oh, well, I guess that's your stuff, so you take care of it, type of thing.
Yeah. But I think it's been very helpful to be able to be transparent and on the same page as one unit, as marriage should be. Yeah. But also, I think it's been also very great that you handle the day-to-day, the bill paying, while I handle like the savings and the investment.
And the taxes and gathering all that info. So it's kind of different portions, and yours is very active when we have to do taxes, and I have and we sit down and go over it all that, but
together. But so that's been good. So how about decision making?
Well, what do we mean by decision making?
What were your expectations in terms of when there's a major decision to be made, how would that go? For example, our first biggest decision when we first got together was moving, because I was in a different state and you in a different, like in Nebraska, I was in Minneapolis. Like, how was your experience in how we make decisions, or how are you expecting decision making process to go?
Well, I think that was kind of I thought it was going to be, we sit down, we talk about it, and then we just kind of decide on it. And I think what I wasn't expecting was a lot of back and forth. I think that it
weighing pros and cons, writing a whole essay about it,
right?
Presentation. No, there's nothing like that.
No. What I'm saying is, okay.
That's how you're making it sound, babe.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, like, for me, the expectation was, okay, we're gonna talk about it, but I think I tend to like you say, do a pros and cons, and then, all right, now we've made the decision, and then. But I think when you're working with somebody that you love, you have to weigh their pros and cons, and we have to come back, and I think we have to come back constantly and reassess. And reweigh and so I think a lot of that was maybe new to me, where I wasn't like, oh, I decided to buy this tool. I'm just going to buy it, or a tool is kind of a small thing, but like, even like a big, I decided to go on this trip, and then I just go on the trip. I do my pros and cons list. Can I afford it? Yada, yada, yada. And then it's done.
What's funny with the reality of marriage right now is we always joke, I am the accounting and you're the finance.
Yeah, no, that's true. So
departments.
Yeah.
But like, one has to kind of, like, I think in reality, when it comes to like our decision making,
I just have to find the money. I get what you're going on. I was like,
where are you gonna cut?
We got to get this. Where are you finding the money? Yeah, no, that's funny. But yeah, so I mean, decision making. I think it's still something we're working on. Wouldn't you say? It's still,
Still... Do you feel like it takes us long to make decisions, or do you think we are? Oh, it depends on the type of decision.
It's funny because I think we just kind of introduce the topic, and then we kind of both think on it. So it's not like, okay, we got to decide to buy a car this afternoon.
No. We are more like a spreadsheet.
Right. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, like we put it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
We weigh that option.
Right. And that's the other thing too, is because we always kind of back, like say, oh, wait a minute. How many cars did you look at? Where is it? You know what I mean? And so we kind of have to look at that. But then when we do make that decision, like when we bought our car, a decision was like, let's go for it. Okay, let's go for it.
But we had talked about it for months.
Yeah, and I think that helps.
Yeah. I think that helps. Also, like when we bought our investment in property, my goodness, we had to come down and sit down and
hold on for our dear lives when we were signing that paper. Yeah, but I think I'm
story for another day.
Yeah, story for another day.
Bought our first
but it does apply. It does apply where it was like a lot of thinking, and then all of a sudden it was just like go. Because we sat down and we said, these are things that we need.
We want, we need.
And then it was there, and it was like, well,
now we have to pull the plug.
Yeah, no, that's what we do.
But I think it's always one thing I love about our marriage, like when it comes to decision making, we put it on paper.
Yeah.
And then we say, if these things go, if we meet A, B, C, D, then it's a yes.
Right.
If this is lacking, then we don't go for it. Mm-hmm. And it's so much easier because then you don't have to wonder, oh, why did we not do that? Well, it's on paper.
Right. And I think, and that's going to be in the story for another day, but that was quite the journey, which I think I'd love to tell. So let's see. Should we move on to values?
And goals? I didn't have any values when I met you.
There's so many jokes I could say, but I'm trying to keep it PG.
This is you. That was the woman of the night?
No.
PG-13.
PG-13 stuff.
We had goals.
Yeah. Well, I think for this one, the way I took it was I had this I don't want to say fantasy, but this kind of dream in my head that we were going to be a family where we were going to go work out together, and I work out as a judo player. Right. And so that's kind of a lot of martial arts.
We've worked out in a minute here, huh?
And so then that type of thing is actually something I was hoping we would do. But that's something that wasn't as much interest, I guess, for the family. So I didn't really push it much further than that.
Well, you have to set the background. You grew up with judo.
I did.
You're a black belt.
Right.
Let's think on that. You have a black belt in judo.
Right.
And so your expectations were, my wife is going to be a black belt until that first day to judo.
I was expecting more than that. I was like, oh yes, we're gonna be teaching together, and we're gonna be getting the kids all, getting all prepped. We're gonna be leading the dojo. It's kind of our club.
How
and
many
kind of
times did I go?
You might have gone twice. I think you went one time for sure to karate, and then I can't remember if you actually went to judo. I don't think you did.
I watched.
Okay, you watched.
I came plenty times, and I was AKA supportive.
Yeah. But I think also, I mean, you were very supportive of it, and we tried to get Nate involved as well.
He did it for quite a while.
And he did it for a little bit, but that also wasn't his thing. So I kind of had to, my expectation was this, but you have to kind of temper it.
Yeah, and we picked up things like we've always been picking up things that we do together. Mm-hmm. For example, hello, here we are.
Yeah, I'm always picking things that you want me to do.
So what you're saying is,
for example, the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. No,
that's that's still up for debate. Whose idea this was?
Yeah, well, it was 50-50 then. We'll just say that. Mm-hmm. How about you? Values or goals?
I told you I didn't have any.
Okay. I don't believe it, but
I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. My goals were, we're going to hold hands every day. We're going to watch movies together.
Sunrise and sunset.
I don't know. I don't even like to watch that beach.
Yeah. I do remember that I said to you, hey, do you want to go camping? Do you want to go? You said yes.
This is when we were dating.
Yes.
When we were dating, I liked football.
Yes, you did. You like to watch the Michigan Wolverines, and
I was trying to impress you,
and I appreciate it.
And then once I put you in my bag, I'm just kidding.
But I think it was some of the things we still do is, I mean, I still like to watch movies, romantic movies with you.
Yeah, last night was wonderful. We watched a movie. Yeah, and I laughed really hard, so it was good. Yeah. But we can keep yapping and yapping. We should go to the next one.
Very good. Okay, we're going to go to level or effort for our marriage.
Oh, you know what? I love this one.
Yeah.
I did not expect to put as much effort in this marriage.
Yeah.
Like I am. Our dating seemed like, especially being that it was long distance, I didn't feel like I was putting a lot of effort.
What are you trying to say? We should have a long distance marriage. Very easier.
Long distance marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You moved to the neighbor's house.
But you know what? It was so much easier because think about it. It's long distance.
Yeah.
So we don't have to make the effort of seeing each other that often. Well, we talked every night. We talked every day. Heck, we had dinners together.
We did. That took a lot of effort. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Virtual dinners. We talked and talked and talked.
Yes.
But just think about it. Long distance, we didn't have that, now I have to get ready and let's go on a date night. Now I have to find the right outfit. The typical dating experience.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I expected, our video is lagging. I hope it doesn't affect our output. But I expected the same way.
Yes.
Did you?
Well, I think part of it for me was that there was a lot of effort, I thought, because we did plan things, week in advance, right? And I think part of that same kind of newness and kind of getting to know each other type of thing, you kind of have to keep that up in marriage. Right?
Yes.
That's what she said.
Who's she?
That's what you said. Anyways,
we stayed up too late. We had a party.
We're a little goofy
for brother-in-law my brother-in-law your brother-in-law too.
Our brother, yeah.
So we stayed up.
But I think that's part of the magic, is that you have to find ways to keep that going when you're not dating anymore.
Yeah.
And also, you kind of, I think we were kind of, because we're so much part of our lives. When we were dating, it was kind of like a very much an outlet for me. Okay, I have work. Okay, I have this. Okay, I have that. Oh, but now I get to be with Rosie. I get to dedicate this specific time.
Do you not look forward to coming home to me? Oh my God.
Of course I do.
This laughter is a cry for help.
What I'm saying is this.
Just kidding.
What I'm saying is this. Is that,
tell us, what are you saying, babe?
Is that...
You used to look forward to talking to me. Now you're like,
I said I used to call you on the cell phone.
List.
No,
used to call you on the cell phone.
Yeah. No, I think right now it's kind of like, okay, we get home and we have, we have a certain pattern, a certain this and certain that, and then it doesn't become,
ready for bed, do homework,
right? So it doesn't become like a very purposeful thing at the end of the day. Like, okay, I got all my tasks done, and now I just get to be with you.
You know what I propose? I say we start doing 5 minutes of intentional time together, so you can look forward for it.
I think so.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and I think we should do it, just like we used to do it, right, as we were going to bed, and just kind of have that, which we still kind of do, but we don't do it as an intention. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
But I think we should kind of make more effort to just do that.
Because let me tell you, we got a 3-year-old. Oh no, she's about to be 5. Why is she stuck at
Yeah, she's 4.
And
she'll
at 13,
it
can get busy. And full-time jobs, it can really get busy. So your marriage can be lost.
We put a lot of effort into a lot of other things, right? And they're all part of the marriage, and they're all part of working together. But the really important thing is also our relationship.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm not saying that right, but it's just something
we need to prioritize.
A little bit different than just, hey, I took out the garbage. Like, that's good, but you need more than just that.
I need, and I think with this podcast and just this conversation right here, it's just been so wonderful to spend time together. Today we did not struggle. We literally turned it on.
I know, that was so nice.
And here we are. Well, I guess we're gonna find out once we finish recording. But you know what? This has been great.
Yes,
I've enjoyed this conversation with you.
We talked about I think we hit some really good topics, and hopefully that resonates with you guys, and comment below if it does, and if anything else that you kind of say, hey, wait a minute, we should talk more about that.
I actually wonder if people can just put on the comment, what was one interesting expectation that you had and the reality has shocked you in your marriage?
That's right. Because I think it happens in every marriage.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
And it's something that, you might even have an expectation when you go in that this will happen, but it'll surprise you. So just kind of deal with it. But I think that comes to an end. I'd like to thank everybody and wish that you can subscribe if you enjoy this topic or enjoy our channel.
Yeah.
And we'll hope to see you next time. For now, Beto signing off.
Rosie signing off. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.